Ready? Play.
Halep won the toss and elected to receive.
An early indication of Taylor's tactics today. Very skilled at the net. Yeah, Townsend's going to have chances. Halep puts a lot of balls in play. She's not overpowering, but she doesn't miss much. So Townsend is going to need to be consistent in her attack.
Really making it on the Pro Tour. There's been slow progress for Taylor, who trains out of Atlanta with Donald Young Sr. But her junior pedigree was unquestioned, really. A Australian girls champion at 15. She was the #1 junior year-end in the world back in 2012. And she played this very expansive kind of game. She also made the final of Junior Wimbledon a year later, losing in that final to Jeannie Bouchard. And she won the doubles here as well. And that brings with it a lot of pressure and expectation to really jump into the seniors. She's left a lot of tennis watchers sort of scratching their heads as to why she hasn't really fulfilled her talent. I think there's been some off-court issues as well. She's still a very young woman, just 23 years of age.
Yeah, it does feel like she's been around the game for a long time, and she has been. Sort of a junior success. Trying to translate that into the big time, it's been a challenge.
That's a very good start from Townsend.
First game.
So you got an attacking player extraordinaire taking on a defensive player extraordinaire. So it's a nice matchup, a nice contrast of styles. You can see Townsend's willing to come in on the off ball. She likes to play a deep approach and then maybe a short volley. That's a tactic we've seen a couple of times. So Halep will be wise to play that defensive shot and then move in.
Simona Halep. Love team.
A few years ago, Taylor also spent some time working with former Wimbledon finalist Zina Garrison. It's tricky, isn't it, Lee? Because you don't get many players that come at you as often as Taylor, as we see Nadia Comaneci, the greatest, one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, and has become very good friends with Simona. She now lives in the States with her husband, Bart Connor, who you might also remember, sort of
fellow Romanians, right?
Yes, but there are if you think about it, there are very few top Romanian sportsmen and women.
Now, she's going to have some chances on the second serve. That's always been one of Halep's weaker shots. See, she's got some time. It's right in the strike zone, and she just goes after it. Beautiful conversion.
Now, let's see if she can be as aggressive on this break point.
Well, the strategy is fairly clear, and the serve is something that she's going to look to pick on, and she's done a pretty nice job of it. Let's see what happens in break point number 2.
One of the areas that she has been talking about playing the best players is about staying true to her game in the big moments, and we'll see if she can do that out here this afternoon on Ash.
The advantage added. Game. Halep.
I want to say calmly, but she dodged a couple of break points there on her serve. So nice job by Simona. And if she is behind in the score, Halep has to get those first serves in. Don't allow Townsend to take a swing on the second.
Low.
Rather unusually, Taylor, when she began playing tennis, started off as a right-hander and then switched to a lefty. She looks like such a natural lefty, doesn't she?
Yeah, she comes around the edge of the ball. It seems like left-handers never seem to hit the ball square. It always has a little shape, a little outside edge to it.
First broke the top 100 4 years ago, and that's why there is a lot of puzzlement as to why she hasn't at least maintained that ranking inside the elite group. Yeah, too good from Halep.
15 touches.
Arguably the best mover on tour.
Yeah, this wasn't a bad volley. Obviously, on a hard court, the ball does sit up just a bit, and Halep is able to find the bottom. And she finds that outside edge, brings it back cross court.
30 all.
It's very hard to settle into a rhythm, isn't it, against Taylor? That is her calling card.
Yeah, Halep hit a fairly good ground stroke. And the very next ball, Townsend sort of ghosted in behind it and played a volley. And I don't think Halep was ready for that. She's striking the backhand pretty cleanly today. That's a wonderful shot cross court. Takes something pretty special to break down Halep in an exchange like that. This is where you can get into trouble. You know, you've got a game point and you cough up the double and it's back to the office at deuce. Not always a comfortable place against an elite player like Halep, who gets a lot of balls back into play. It's not too often we talk about serving volleyers, but if you are serving and volleying and you've got a floating ball, you've got to go to it quickly before it drops. Watch how quickly Townsend, she's well inside the service line volleying down. That's right out of the textbook. Sam Smith 101, serve and volley tennis.
Yeah, Townsend doing really rather well. Interesting start from these two on serve. Beginning of this opening set, 2-1 for the American.
2 games to 1. First set.
There are so many young Americans coming through. We saw a lovely performance last night from Katie McNally. You have Sonia Kenin, who was forcing her way up in it, Amanda Anisimova. I wonder if this younger group that are 3 or 4 years behind Taylor in age may just give her the motivation, the push that she needs. Because everything I hear about Taylor, I hear she's a lovely young woman, very entertaining, fun-loving, but sometimes doesn't always have that internal drive and motivation to do some extra practice, or she's not always sort of driving what needs to be done.
Yeah, each of these young players is on their own journey, and Taylor seems to be content, seems to be happy with her career, but it's a career where she's going to need to spend some time just refining it a bit, because she does have to spend time on the ITFs with the lower ranked events to maintain a sort of ranking in that top 100 range. And that's not the ultimate and best position to be in.
Halep 1-2 on serve, first set.
Well, she knew
50.
She had it.
No.
I mean, that's the volley you're looking for. It was makeable. There was some pace behind the pass.
It's such an exciting brand of tennis, isn't it, that she plays.
And I'm always surprised that more players don't play this style of tennis. And having said that, I also understand why they don't, because it's more of a defensive game. The game is slowed down. In terms of surfaces, and the balls are fairly slow. So it seems like the foundation of most professional games these days is defensive in nature. Good two-handed backhands, lots of good returns, movement. And the volley doesn't seem to be as much of a weapon as it used to be, or certainly the tactic of transitioning into volley.
Ball to 15. Game. Halep. 2 games all. First set.
We've got a very handy website, usopen.org, and I do suggest a visit, particularly if you like your t-shirts and your hats. They've got all the US Open merchandise on there. And I have to say the towels this year look a particular good purchase. I'm going to try and sneak one of those once I have time to go down to the shop or go to the website. I think I'm going to order it on the website.
A good return. It was out of the center of the court, and Townsend had to make a stretch volley. She couldn't handle it.
And this to me is what's going to be fascinating. In big moments, love 30 serving for Townsend. Just took a step back there, played a little more conservatively, and I don't know, maybe she should be backing herself, backing her game in these moments. Well, she is a speedster.
15-40.
She's beaten Townsend so often. She's won 6 consecutive sets against the American on hard and clay in 2 different continents. She feels confident out here. A couple of break points here for the Wimbledon champion. not going to miss. And there's the break. Halep forges ahead 3-2 in this opening set.
Halep leads 3-2, first set.
Try now here. Sorry, Sam turned me on. I didn't know. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4. Leaf Shiras alongside Sam Smith, Taylor Townsend, Simona Halep, Arthur Ashe Stadium Courts. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. You're good.
Tie.
Ashe Stadium bathed in sunlight. Halep 3-2 with the early break.
Yeah, that was a very good aggressive second serve from Halep.
Nominated as one of the great athletes of the 20th century. Montreal Olympics 1976, scored a perfect 10. And what I love about, well, I think we all remember the pictures of a very young Nadia Comaneci winning. What I love in Montreal all those years ago is that I think she's been an incredibly strong influence on Simona. Because don't forget, Simona lost 3 Grand Slam finals, 3 heartbreakers. And to have someone to chat to who has reached the summit on many occasions, and to have another woman in your player box as well, Virginia Ruzici, who won in Paris in the late 70s. She's had very good people around her. Another easy hold in the set, starting to get away from the American. And for Halep, it just seems to be the recipe for success in the modern sports world, is to have a nice team around you so that you can concentrate on your craft. And I think Halep has crafted an excellent team. You know, worked with Darren Cahill for a long time. They moved on from that relationship, but hasn't really missed a beat, has she?
Low.
So it's very good to see Taylor out here in the second round of the US Open. She said in 2016 she felt completely broken with life, tennis. And that's really tough to hear a teenager say that. She moved back to Atlanta, reunited with Donald Young Sr., got her own apartment and sort of took control. I think she felt that a few people had let her down and she was not in a good place. So at least she's out here still playing.
Off the nut cord.
30-15.
And then getting back to Atlanta and under Donald Young's father's tutelage, getting back to the kind of tennis she likes to play, that she's comfortable with. And it's part of your mental well-being, is to be comfortable with the people around you. So she's in a good place. And Halep, when she stretches Townsend out into the corners, that's been a big advantage. You can see Taylor coughing up the air on the backhand. A little more control required. She didn't have it on that occasion.
Halep just starting to read the serve now. And an opportunity here for the double break.
That's some of the best hitting that Townsend has produced. Her back was to the wall, wasn't it? Lost that point. Pretty much would have lost the set. There's Donald Young Sr. Of course, father to Donald Young Jr., very talented player, also a left-hander like Taylor.
Advantage.
Undone by the net cord there. She tried to take the attack forward. And this is not a good thing to see if you're trying to protect the net up there. Your opponent with time. And particularly this young woman who's got some great skills in defense.
The chance to break in this game. The woman champion has everything well under control, has found a wonderful rhythm, and she leads 5-2 double break first set.
Halep leads 5-2 first set.
What for you is Halep's best surface?
It's a good question. I mean, she plays well on every surface, but I feel like she plays a little bit better on the faster surfaces, where she gets some help from the surface to give her game a little more pace. You know, she's so good on the ball that the faster the court, I think the better reward she gets in her baseline game. And obviously her movement forward is as good as side to side, but we don't see that as often, but something that she does pretty well. So she really is an all-around player who's well disguised as a baseliner.
If you just look behind Simona, there's this ice tub with a hose on it. Now, when it gets really hot, they'll be able to press that button that you see on the top of the white lid there, and a shot of cool air will come out of the nozzles that's just on the floor at the moment.
Yeah, they've got these fans now on every court. I'm not sure I've seen any of the players using
it. Because it's been fine.
It's been pretty mild. I mean, low 80 degrees today, but comfortable, as you can see, most of the sun off the court. So an element of the heat not affecting the players.
15, low.
Just having a look at our stats monitor, and the number that's really jumping out at me, just the 4 unforced errors for Halep. Took a lot more time at the end of 2018 for an off season. That's why she wasn't too worried about the results early on in 2019. Just wanted some recharge time with the family.
Yeah, and you can understand why, and just in terms of physically, I mean, the game she has to play, she's got to be one shot better than most of her opponents. So there's a physical component to her game that she has to address, and she seems to have managed that pretty well transitioning into this year.
3 set points.
Yeah, first set.
She's making this look very easy. It's a 7th consecutive set against Taylor Townsend. And Halep is the one who wins it by 6 games to 2. Yes, you want to be sitting in the East Stand at the moment. It's absolutely absolutely gorgeous place to present yourself. But strong set of numbers on the left-hand side of your screen.
And obviously on the right, not so strong. As the 16 unforced errors will stand out. But if you're the aggressor, which Townsend is, you're going to make some mistakes. But I think what's important for her is first serve percentage, and also the conversion rate when she does come forward. It's been pretty good. Most of those points won were early in the set when she was getting some games, but hasn't been so good of late. And you can see how solid Halep is when it comes to getting balls back into play off the serve, converting when she does have chances, and she's pretty tidy when she's come forward.
Yeah, good set of tennis for the Romanian. 6-2. She takes the opener.
Time. Second set.
Taylor Townsend, the 23-year-old American, with an awful lot of work to do here, down a set to the Wimbledon champion.
Low.
Been on court just over half an hour. The longest match that she's had against Simona was at Roland Garros last year. That lasted just 68 minutes. So let's see if she can extend this one a little longer.
So often if you're an attacking player like Townsend, you have options. Okay, well, if I'm making too many errors, maybe I need to stay in the rally a little bit longer, maybe not go for quite so much, and be a little more patient to wait for your chances to attack, or commit to not missing. And see what Halep has in response to that question.
15-30.
It all looks very logical from where we're sitting. But I feel that you've got very close to the heart of what's happening, Leif, that she's not really sure what to do at the moment.
And if you are going to commit to a strategy like Townsend has done it, oftentimes it's not so much about X's and O's, but just improving your level of play. Reduce your unforced errors, get first serves in, move your feet. All those little things can add up to bigger and better things.
Nice, really nice.
I mean, Townsend's finished her summer. She plays a lot of world team tennis for the Philadelphia Freedoms, a franchise owned by Billie Jean King. So she gets a lot of input from one of the all-time greats, one of her biggest fans. A great relationship. Last year she was MVP in the league, didn't lose a set in women's singles, so she's had plenty of success.
I can say that's hard to do. That's going some. Heads up start, beginning of the second set for Taylor.
First game, second set.
And I like the commitment on the backhand, just to hit it hard, be aggressive, but also cross court. That's the biggest space on the court, so your chances of making it are pretty good. And this is something that Halep has built a career around, of playing high percentage tennis and backing it up with moments of attack. And she's got a wonderful game. Tough to break down, Halep's game.
Yes, and very few have been able to do it. The last 2 years she has been the year-end #1, and this is her 6th consecutive season in the world's top 5, so also very consistent as well.
But
she'll be 28 at the end of September, and you feel there's still a lot more to come from this very talented Romanian. Yeah, that did look long. Good call from the chair from Carter.
Miss Halep on the right service line.
But I can tell you,
that
because there are so few sporting superstars in Romania, she was under so much pressure to win that first slam. And it's there's a great Darren Cahill story with Jon Tiriac. I'll tell you in just a moment. Jon Tiriac, who has always supported her, obviously a huge figure in world tennis. Apparently he went to Darren Cahill when Darren was coaching Simona and said, you have to do this for Romania. I mean, the pressure.
40-15.
And you get the sense whenever she's playing big matches at a slam, the whole country stops and crowds around a TV set. That's the impact she makes back home.
And she really enjoys representing Romania, doesn't she, in the Fed Cup, the international team competition. Great success on the Romanian side there.
Yeah, I don't think she entirely sort of had Wimbledon down as the #1 goal this year, although it turned out only lost 1 set on the way to the title. That the actual priorities for her were Fed Cup and also the Olympics next year.
Advantage. Townsend.
Just throwing a little scoreboard left of your screen. Ah, we've caught up now. Well, actually, Taylor had a couple of breakpoint opportunities in Simona's opening service game, couldn't convert. And again, just as she did earlier in the match, missing the return.
Yeah, 85-mile-an-hour first serve. I mean, you've got to get that ball into play. One of the best volleys she's hit today. And
advantage. Townsend.
It's a nice play when you can play with that short angle and make your opponent run a long distance.
Oh, Townsend showing her teeth in this game.
And Townsend.
Yeah, a nice response from the crowd as well. As
Townsend
has played a lot of good points. And finally, she's able to string a few together in this game. And oftentimes when you're challenging someone, you've never beaten them before, you've got to have small goals. And first goal for her, maybe I could get a set, possibly.
Well, let's see if she can last the hour.
Let's get over, what, 68 minutes, is it?
Got to get past that, just over the hour, yeah. Hasn't actually competed since losing in the second round of Wimbledon to Kiki Bertens, the 4th seed. Not quite entirely sure why that was. You said she played some world team tennis, but had all those matches through the qualifying here in her first round. Was out on actually court 7 against Katerina Kozlova. Had to come back from a set down, as she did in the last round of qualifying and the second round of qualifying as well. So maybe it just taking her a little time to get going at this year's US Open.
That's brilliant.
Love 40.
And that's one of the differences today. You get Halep in the corner. She's quick enough to get outside this ball, bring it back cross court. And one of the challenges for a left-hander like Townsend is, you know, their game tends to channel into the backhand of a right-hander. Halep has a great two-handed backhand. It has to be something pretty good to get the best of Halep.
The response is immediate, and we are back on serve in this second set. Halep having taken the first.
2-1. Second set. First set. Halep.
Now it's an impressive response from Halep, and she's been down this road before. I think she goes into a match thinking, okay, I'm going to do my best on my serve, but I think in her mind she's got to be thinking, okay, I might get broken, but I have such great faith in my legs and my return that I'm going to get back into it. You can see she's just referring to a few notes she has on a piece of paper there, something we've seen over the years from a number of players. Justine Henin used to do that quite regularly. I mean, the first guy I never saw do it was Arthur Ashe. who's this wonderful stadium is named after. Ash used to even write things down to add to his notes on the changeover, but it's a nice way to sort of remind yourself of the things you want to do out there.
And these days, the players are much more careful about hiding the notes as well, because in days gone by, they were a little casual that there would be a camera that would zoom in on it.
Exactly.
It's far less fun for us, but super careful. I can remember Carlos Rodriguez, just in Emma's coach, giving her envelopes to open during a French Open final. So two breaks, excuse me, in the opening 3 games of this second set.
$15 love. Let buzzer.
Beautiful done.
15-0.
And the backhand cross court prior to this sequence would probably have won the point against a lot of players, but not Halep, and Townsend having to win the point a second time.
30-15.
It's fascinating watching Simona now after seeing her come out of juniors in her first few years on the tour, because she's such a complete player. Darren Cahill really has given her at 5'6" quite a lot of pop on this first serve.
Oh, you gave her the broadcaster jinx.
I did.
I think we mentioned earlier that she's really kind of an all-court player, does everything well. Obviously, the foundation is the baseline play, but her serve's a little bit more muscular these days. That time the serve fell a little short, and Townsend just ripped it and came in.
Now, can she stay true to herself? Can she make this return on break point? She can. And it didn't have to be the best. And Halep broken for a second successive game.
Townsend leads 3-1. Second set.
Yeah, nice response by Taylor. Last time she had the break, she lost her serve. Well, she got down to love 40.
Don't forget, take a quick trip to usopen.org. It's got all the draws, the scores, the stats, the highlights. And if you want to stay across the US Open, that's the place to go.
Now these moments are so big for Townsend to try and underline the break advantage. He's done so well to get the advantage. Now you've got to continue to build on it.
Too good.
That's what it's about. And again, the good deep volley. Watch this. And then after this deep volley, she pushes Halep back. Now she's got the front court to play into. She's got some nice hands up at the net. Kind of like a young Sam Smith back in the day at Wimbledon.
I wish.
Carving up those volleys.
What is interesting, I absolutely am with you about Halep playing left-handed. She's got a very good record throughout her career, because often their ball goes into her backhand, their favorite serve. But actually this year, she hasn't had the best time against left-handers. She's lost a couple of times to Marketa Vondrousova, the French Open finalist. She's had a loss to Angie Kerber.
Yeah,
some bang-bang tennis up at the net. Just unable to do enough with those volleys. Great to see both of these young women inside the baseline, up at the net, trying to make things happen. Now, Halep almost pulled off a great shot because she sensed that Townsend was closing, so she tried to get the lob in play, just missed it long.
Wow, what an opportunity here for this young American. And she's taken it. Starting to bring the Ash Stadium alive as Taylor Townsend takes a 4-1 lead in the second set after Halep has won the first.
Townsend leads 4-1. Second set, first set, Halep.
We spoke a little earlier about how it's not so much X's and O's, it's about execution and playing your game plan better. Taylor hasn't changed things up. She's just doing what she does better. You know, more consistent returning, great volleys at the nets. Just like to see the creativity when she's taking the ball on the fly. I hate to say it's a lost art in the professional game, but not as many people volley as often as Taylor does. So it's nice to see.
I don't know how you feel. I feel that backhand volley is far more secure than the forehand volley. I feel like she sort of steps into her and she doesn't really get it out in front. The backhand is, you know, classic Navratilova. I mean, she just clips it, but I would love to see her do a bit more work on that forehand side. Just be, again, it's just cleaning up the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just making sure every time it's in front of her.
Tie.
I'm not sure the alarm bells are going off for Halep, but she has to be concerned with the score line. She's lost her last couple of service games. Townsend is playing pretty freely. So she's going to have to batten down the hatches here, get a service hold, and try and climb back into this set. You have to like the consistent attack from Townsend. The fact that she's not winning all these points coming forward, that shouldn't deter her. You know, she's not going to win this match from the back of the court. So don't be disappointed if you don't win all the points coming forward. Just try and win the right ones.
It's so funny that you say that, because so often baseliners, when they come forward and they take that chance and they miss a volley, you don't see them for a couple of weeks up there.
That's
but
right.
if you miss
Maybe when they shake hands at the end of the match.
But if they miss a ball from the baseline, they don't run away from the baseline. It seems to be so unacceptable to lose the point if you're coming forward. Oh, that certainly looked long. And Halep stuttering a little here. She got away with it.
Townsend leads.
And we just have to wonder, is one break going to be enough for Townsend? That second serve look a little long to you?
Yeah, it sure did. It was very close. No challenge from Townsend. She was focusing on coming in behind it.
Big game here for the American.
Love.
And she is a woman who is way down the US pecking order. Currently the 6th best. 16th best, not 6th. She'd love to be 6th. 16th best from her country. That doesn't get you a wild card in here.
Good, smart return. And that inside-out forehand, that's a high percentage play. And that's really the foundation of Halep's game. Low risk, high percentage, dependable play.
Let's
Some pretty good defense from Taylor there in that backhand corner. Stayed in the point.
And why not? Because I've got to say, her unforced errors in the second set have rocketed. Just 4 in the first, 10 already in the second. And sometimes Taylor doesn't have to play lights out tennis, point after point.
40-15.
We're witnessing the Taylor Townsend show right here on Ash. And the American takes a 5-2 lead in the second set. Halep has won the first.
5-2, second set. First set, Halep.
How many times have we seen both players up at the net, a little bit of hand-to-hand combat up at the net? Townsend getting the best of another exchange, and I don't think she minds that. I mean, there are 5 situations of play, and one of them is when both players are up at the net. Doesn't happen that often, but I think the more times Townsend can create that situation, she's got a shot to win a high percentage of those. I mean, she's so good at reading the play. Look at the quick hands.
I tell you what I really like, Leaf. First set made a lot of mistakes, didn't really go her way, and I was concerned that she was going to hang back and not trust a game that, when it's in full flow, is competitive against most players in the world, actually, if she's really on. And what I love is that she's kept putting her best foot forward and put her game out there, and continue to ask questions of Halep. And she's on the verge here of taking her first ever set against the Wimbledon champion. And she's definitely going to make 68 minutes. Halep serving to stay in this second set.
Low. Low. -15.
Been very aggressive behind those Halep second serves. Just look at the speed, under 80 miles an hour.
-15.
As it is 40-15. Schoolbloke taking a little afternoon nap.
It's a long day of tennis.
It is.
Game, Halep, new balls, please.
Yeah, last game with the old
Ball
balls. And Halep just making sure.
Townsend leads.
Given up
Jump to 3.
investing in this second set as yet. She just knows that the game of Townsend can at any moment come off the rails.
Low.
A little uncharacteristic from Halep, but a good serve from Townsend. You get that into the body, you can really cause a few problems for your opponent. It just seems like the elite players, you put them in difficult situations and they can find their way out of it, whether it's a brilliant pass like that or something even better. Well done from Halep. Not that time. But again, the volley was a little bit different. It was short with angle instead of deep. So not only do you have to run to the side, but you also have to run forward. That's a little more of a challenge.
Well, who would have thought this even just a fraction over half an hour ago when she lost the opening set? It's been a very quick turnaround by Townsend, and she's on the verge here. 2 set points to take this match into a decider. And Taylor Townsend wins her first ever set against Simona Halep, and she takes the second by 6 games to 3.
This game to 3. 1-0.
Well, there was a lovely little wry smile from Donald Young Sr. as she closed out that second set. But why did she win it?
Well, I think she committed to the attack and pretty good conversion rate, 15 to 26. I mean, you are going to get beaten a couple times by Halep, no doubt about it, but you win the right points. And she did, converting 2 of the 3 break points she had. So Taylor Townsend really played a wonderful set of tennis. Just enough winners and just 7 unforced errors, and that from a player who's taking chances. So that's a good number.
So once again, Halep forced to go the distance as Townsend takes the second set by 6 games to 3.
Time. Final set.
Well, a few more of the fans here just starting to take a little more interest in this second round match, particularly
the man himself, the great Los Angeles Laker. That's Kobe Bryant, big tennis fan.
And he's going to be a Taylor fan.
I think a lot of people are going to be Taylor fans when she plays this brand of tennis as effectively as she is. This isn't a bad ball here from Halep. But look at her just carve under the ball, take a little of the pace off.
And
15.
And Kobe Bryant, I heard he was here surrounded by a huge amount of security guards earlier on. He took his place on the ash. I'll tell you what we'd love to see, I'd love to see from Taylor. I'd like her to continue to not overthink out here, to play from instinct, to just let her game flow and release herself.
She's there.
40-30.
I think Townsend felt the return was going to go long because she didn't really get in a great volley position. But by the end of the point, she had some open court to hit into. That had to feel good. It's not often you get that from Simona Halep.
For the Wimbledon champion serving for the first time.
First game, final set.
Starting a set off in this matchup is going to make life very, very hard for Townsend, and she's had a good record in deciding sets on tour this year. has won 14 out of 20 matches that have gone the distance. And right now you'd still back Halep to move through. Incidentally, the winner of this match is in the bottom section of the top half of the draw. Will play either Sorana Castella, another Romanian, we haven't seen her for a while, or Lona Bolsova of Spain, who took out Barbora Strycova. That was the seed in that particular section.
Halep beats Townsend with the pace.
Thank you, Bongo.
Yeah, carved up the forehand volley nicely. And she played with a lot of spin. I mean, spin is another word for control. So beautifully controlled volley takes a little of the pace off. Look where Halep is. She's already inside the baseline, anticipating the angle. Kobe Bryant feeling a little uneasy. The tension is all over the stadium. Halep trying to avoid the fate of some of the other top players who've been upset on the women's side this year.
Fantastic. Fabulous instincts.
40-15.
And most importantly, she's got this rather sleepy late afternoon Ash crowd. She has got them engaged now. This is fun.
Right on top of the net, and she was able to pick off that forehand. And that looks like she means business, Halep. I'm not sure she was happy about how that point went. So often when you make a mistake, it's not so much about your hands, it's about your feet. And she just wasn't in position there. She was a half step away.
That was her 50th, yes, her 50th sortie to the net. You don't see those kind of numbers in women's tennis very often. Taylor hangs on.
One game all, final set. No.
Townsend's record from a set down is 5 wins, 9 losses, but 3 of those wins coming here at the US Open. So she's in a good rhythm from a set down. She's not going to be discouraged about the scoreline today. Certainly she's going to be ecstatic that she's in this 3rd set.
It's funny, isn't it, how you can go through certain tournaments and each match follows a very similar pattern.
I just wonder if she's a player of destiny today.
Wow, wow.
30.
And she's going to have to change it and take the code violation, which will be warning racket abuse.
Code violation, racket abuse, warning, Miss Halep.
She's trying really hard to smash it. Those Wilson frames must be strong.
Yeah, some of these new age materials, they can withstand a lot of pressure. Responds with a nice run. Townsend just couldn't kill the volley at the net. It sat up long enough for Halep to speed forward.
Halep regaining her discipline, and we remain on serve early stages of this final and deciding set.
Final set.
Leif, you mentioned about some of the big names that are already gone. I think we were very surprised on the opening day that the champion here just 3 years ago, Angelique Kerber, out in the first round. Former top tenor Caroline Garcia out as well, and Muguruza, I covered that match. Stevens, Venus, big names. You know, there's the word we keep hearing is the D word, the depth in women's tennis.
Yeah, I think it speaks to a couple of things. I think the unpredictability of the top players nowadays. They're not going to be a Serena Williams type player who's going to be the top player for 5 straight years. And I think you're also seeing more players with more skills, with more opportunities to get wins. I mean, what do we have? 15 Grand Slam titleists in the women's draw, only 7 in the men.
Time. Love.
It's just going to be a little push up here in intensity from the Wimbledon champion.
Yeah, that's a ball she's got to knock down. She had position. So look at some of the damage done to the frame. Simona Halep.
Still, I think still playable on a recreational level.
If she'd been able to play one more point with that racket, she might not have gotten the code.
Exactly. That's good to see that reaction, just letting some of that pressure, tension go. Don't think she ever expected this kind of scenario. This wasn't in the script.
Let the service.
This is someone she'd won in previous meetings 6 consecutive sets against. She'd barely been able to last the hour in their meetings over the years. Has had Taylor. And she continues to roll the dice out here.
Yeah, she's doing a fabulous job with these low, hard returns and able to finish the point from difficult positions. Great play from T squared.
Townsend. Two games old. Final set.
So all very solid from both women in this final set. Don't forget, you can go to usopen.org, and if you want to stay connected, you can on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and you can join the conversation with #USOpen.
Now that is not an easy move to make. You're having to retreat over your backhand side. It was a clever lob, but Townsend had the answer.
I just wonder, Leif, when Taylor comes to the net, when Halep is going to go more on the forehand volley rather than the backhand. It's long.
Love 30.
Daniel Dobre,
thank you.
Romanian, who's been in charge of coaching duties this year for Simona.
The love 40.
And I'm not sure we can quite believe our eyes right now. The Wimbledon champion looks to be folding. She has, goodness me.
Townsend.
Taylor roaring into the lead in this final set. 3-2. The American, she hits the front.
Townsend leads. 3 games to 2. Final set.
The pressure dynamic, though, has just changed. She has never been in front in any of her prior meetings with Simona Halep. So how does she manage this first-time situation?
Yeah, it's one of the toughest challenges in tennis is to beat someone who's better than you, a lot better than you. Because suddenly the pressure changes because you're thinking about winning and losing, where before you were thinking about tactics and execution, and suddenly the score line, you look over the scoreboard and you're saying, I have a shot to win. And that's where you've got to be careful. You've got to stick to thinking about moving your feet, coming in on the right ball, and bending your knees. All those little things that make for a win. Don't think about winning, Sam.
Time.
I'm sure Halep is thinking about, how do I survive?
Townsend, final set with the early break.
The love 15.
wonderful pass.
Love 30.
It wasn't a bad volley, but it just wasn't good enough. And with the speed and accuracy of this young woman in her defensive skills, it has to be very good.
Love 40.
Well, tennis is a funny sport. So often the first point of the game can really set the stage for what's to follow, and Halep has taken full advantage. Consecutive points and break points coming up.
$15, $14.
Well, when Halep was broken at the start of the second set, there was the immediate break back. And has she made that? Has she made it?
They're going to hang that volley in the Hall of Fame. We haven't seen that volley since, I don't know, Martina Navratilova. But look at this volley.
I wonder if Martina's watching this from a commentary booth somewhere or a monitor. Hope she is. Still got a break point, though.
Yeah, I'm sure Halep felt that was a point she should have won. She had a little bit of time on the ball, but I think it just bounced up into her shot. Didn't produce the pass she would have liked. Townsend took full advantage.
Advantage, Townsend.
Well, Halep's mind must be spinning backwards. How on earth has she found herself in this situation? So comfortable in that opening set.
Advantage, Townsend.
An excellent serve down the tee, and it has to be good to really trouble Halep. But remember, Halep has the two-hander, so if you can stretch her out on that wing, it can be effective, but it's got to be well executed.
She's made it. It was all over.
Miss Halep is challenging the corner on the right near sideline.
Halep wants to have a look.
The ball was called in.
There's been very few challenges in this second round match. Let's have another pair of eyes. Yeah, it's all okay. And what a dig from Love 43 break points down. We're in the heart of the match right here.
All games to 2.
And Taylor backing herself to the hill. And she has continued to press forward.
Please.
I was
15.
surprised that Taylor was
Love.
able to get out of that situation. Love 40 down to Simona Halep, one of the best defenders in the game. Really came up with some good stuff, particularly that forehand volley winner. If she gets the win today, Townsend, we're going to be thinking about that volley.
Well, 12 months ago, Simona Halep, who played the very first ever match on the new Louis Armstrong Stadium, was bundled out of the tournament by an inspired Kaia Kanepi of Estonia. It feels like a similar situation right here.
To 15. Faulty, 15.
Yeah, she added a few miles per hour to that serve out wide, earned her the point.
And look at this, just slowing the tempo down, just trying to take some of the heat out of this situation. Hugely experienced game from the Wimbledon champion. She hangs on here, but it's Taylor Townsend up a break in this final set.
3. Final set.
Well, all the hours you put in on the practice court, they're not really so much about, the first few games of the match. You practice for these moments where you're coming down the stretch in the final set on a big court like this. So all the targets that Taylor Townsend has hit on her serve, all the time she's put tennis ball cans in the corners or out wide, this is where it's going to be vital for her to execute those shots. And all the volleys she's practicing for Simona Halep, she knows it. She's been down this road before. She's going to have to come up with some amazing defensive plays.
And look, she's got her notebook out. In fact, she hasn't got a few bits of paper. She's got an entire binder there of information.
She might need it. I mean, she's doing something that, looking at the prior scores coming in, I don't think anyone would have predicted that she'd be in this situation now. So she has to believe where she is, get it, and say to herself, I can do this. I can do this.
Time.
New territory for the 23-year-old American from Chicago. Up a break in this final set.
Love. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep quiet during the point. Thank you very much.
It's not too often you see Halep not have her feet organized. She just got all mixed up on that one. Plenty of room to hit the winner with.
Low.
3 clutch volleys from Townsend. Very few of those have been part of her performance today.
Now, at this point, you've got to go with the serve you're most comfortable hitting now. Give it some spin, give it a little control, get that first serve in.
And that's exactly what she did. Right out of the playbook.
You both lead. Ball chance.
Townsend now 1 game away from the biggest win of her career.
You both lead.
Yeah, very good decision. She went with a serve right in the center of the box. So she took out the center service line and the sideline. So this one's going in, and she backed it up with a nice volley.
Just to put this into context, Taylor has never beaten a top 10 player in 10 previous attempts. She's only ever beaten one top 20 player. Extraordinary. An hour ago, Simona Halep looked very comfortable out here, just wrapping up the opening set as per the script. Here she is now serving to stay in the second round. She's made it. Wow.
50-0.
Yeah, her backhand has been one of the most improved shots in her game. It's just been rock solid today, particularly the cross court. And I guess she likes the down the line too. That's a great conversion there.
But she's not playing at it. She's not thinking. She's just using her instincts.
Let's first service.
A net cord. Had this shot fallen back, it would have been a match point. Instead, the passing shot to 30-all. Couple of net cords not going Townsend's way.
You cannot take your eyes off this contest.
Right here, he's
Thank you. Ready for play.
It's not going to be right here. Somehow Halep hangs on. And Townsend is going to have to serve for a place in the third round. She leads 5-4, final set. Well, I think she's just opened the door here for Halep. 15-30, slow second serve. What has she been doing the whole time? She's just been ripping those seconds, just pushed it and came forward. I'm fascinated to see what she does trying to serve out, how careful she is. Is she prepared to continue playing the tennis that's got her to this stage in the match? I think that is what we're going to find out in the next few minutes or so.
Yeah, and I think Townsend has to, again, she's played this brilliant match. Yet in tennis, you don't get the win. You have to go and earn it. So she still has to play some more great tennis. So she can't think about all the great things she's done. She needs to think about what's coming up. First serve, be loose, as you said, play your game and play it well.
Time. Players are ready. Thank you.
Well, there has been drama all over the grounds here at Flushing Meadows today. Is this going to be yet another chapter in what has been a sensational day for, as Townsend tries to get the biggest win of her career?
50
She hasn't liked it, Simona, has she? Someone relentlessly coming forward and challenging her to hit those 1-2 passing shots.
The volley was just good enough.
30-15.
For Halep fans, Simona just unable to track it down and control it up the line.
Okay, where does she go here with the serve?
I think she's got to go body again.
Okay. And she does.
Forty, 15.
Two match points.
Forty, 30.
It's okay. She still has another one. She has never beaten a top 10 player before. Not yet, not yet. Clutch tennis from Halep. That chap was asleep about a half an hour ago.
Yeah, suddenly he's woken up. It wasn't a bad volley, and Townsend stayed in the center, didn't cover the line. Halep found the space.
Thank you. Ready to play. Advantage. Halep.
Yeah, good low hard return right in the center of the court. Halep didn't give Townsend an angle to volley with. How did she see that?
Oh, living dangerously out here.
I mean, she was right for the lob. She was right on top of the net. How did that feel? Not so good.
Terrible.
Thank you.
Romanian fans.
Back to Juice. Oh, she's made it. Can you believe it?
Advantage. Halep.
It was an excellent volley.
But look at this. I mean, look at the racket work here.
Yeah, hard to generate pace on an inside-out volley like that, but difficult to protect a shot like that.
Halep is back in the game.
Halep.
2 match points have come and gone, and on we go here on Ash.
5 games old. Final set.
Yeah, Townsend's going to have a short memory to forget about the double fault on match point. And Halep and Townsend now poised at 5 games all.
Thank you. Love 15.
Wonderful response from Townsend. Again, recommitting herself to the game plan.
Look, she's breaking new ground here. She's not. It's pretty tough for her to, get it at the first time of asking. She's got it.
15 all.
Townsend spending most of the match up at the net. You can see how often she's come forward in the final set. Yeah, just too good.
30-15.
Halep doesn't mind the pace. She can use it against you, and that one curled down at Townsend's feet. And looking at Kobe Bryant there, he knows a little something about performing under pressure.
Thank you.
What a shot!
30-40.
Just the sound of the ball rifling off her strings. Look, Halep nowhere near it. The quickest player on tour. Not even close. Chance to go a break up once more. No one's ever doubted her talent. What we have questioned is how she performs in the big moments. Don't forget the junior champion, the best in the world at 15 and 16. Up here against a 2-time Grand Slam winner.
Advantage. Halep.
Yeah, that is such clutch tennis. A first serve and a backhand winner from the center of the court. She's comfortable hitting the backhand from that position. Doesn't feel the need to run around and hit a forehand. You can see why.
It's always been the area, hasn't it? The second serve of Halep, but normally she is quick enough to cover herself. But it's been a challenge today against the aggression of Townsend.
Late. First service.
Yeah, that last second serve was just 76 miles an hour. So Townsend saw it cleanly.
She's missed it. Can you believe it?
Advantage. Halep.
Got to keep her discipline here.
Thank you.
Digging in, and she buys herself some breathing space. Back in front now in this final and deciding set. 6-5, the Romanian
She's game to
leads.
5. Final set.
Well, 10 minutes ago, she was staring down the barrel of 2 match points. How on earth has she managed to get herself to the changeover?
Yeah, she toughed it out, had a great backhand pass up the line in that game, and then converted on a second breakpoint chance to get the 5 games all. And then she faced a breakpoint on her serve. So Halep just has a little more experience amongst these two coming down the stretch on this big stage. Townsend's going to reacquaint herself with some of the things they've been working for.
I just wonder, though, in these kind of moments, a couple of years ago, Simona Halep consulted the very famous sports psychologist out of Fort Lauderdale, Alexis Castori, who is used by Ivan Lendl, Andy Murray. So many have sort of trodden up the path to her front door, and she has made an enormous difference to Simona. How quickly things can change.
Thank you.
Townsend now
Ready for play.
serving to stay in this second round.
Yeah, there have been moments today where she's failed to capitalize on some passing shots. Townsend doing a nice job regrouping here after a bit of disappointment over the last few games. Excellent volley to finish there.
30-0.
It's always that one extra ball. But how well Townsend is playing out here. You think of Katie Manali last night against Serena Williams. These young Americans starting to push the big names.
Thank you. Very sorry. 30-40.
It would be a real shame if it was to end here for Taylor Townsend, having played this well and having come so close. But Halep with match point.
That's been an effective serve for Townsend.
And that's the one you've been calling for, hasn't it? That slow body gives herself a chance to get in. Come on, we'd love a breaker here. Ash, we'd like to see this go down to the wire. And they might just get their wish.
Advantage. Townsend.
And what an extraordinary transformation of this stadium. Just, well, an hour and a half, 2 hours ago when this match started, it was a scattering of fans in here. Now the lower tier full. We're pulling for Taylor Townsend. That's wide.
Then Townsend. This game though, final set. Tiebreak.
Those 2 match points that she held at 5-4, they're a distant memory. But just let me give
one
you
additional challenge.
Some idea of the golfing experience in tiebreakers. This is Taylor Townsend's 13th
Thank you. Please.
career tiebreaker on tour. For
Please.
Simona, it's 101st. She's got it. What a start.
Miss Halep is challenging the call on the left, far side line. The ball was called in.
Yeah, Halep is visibly frustrated, upset. She played a pretty good point, I thought, in defense, and Townsend bravely put that ball inside the line. Incredibly dramatic moments coming down the stretch.
Townsend. Miss Halep has 2 challenges remaining.
I think she learned a lesson from a couple of moments earlier when Halep
2-0.
passed up the line. Townsend is taking away that play. Some nice adjustments here. And people on the edge of their seats in Ash Stadium.
Why hasn't Halep used the lob?
Well, no answer that time for Townsend as Halep gets back on serve.
Townsend.
And again, when she made the volley, she was up in the air, so she couldn't get a lot of weight on it. Halep, as a result, had a bit of time.
Oh, it's immense. The footwork, the balance.
2-0.
Extraordinary.
3-2. Townsend.
4 double faults for both players. They both had some costly ones. And we'll see if Townsend can take advantage of this largesse.
But just the first double in this set for Halep. Yeah, and she's targeted the forehand volley. So back and forth we go with the mini breaks as we change ends for the first time. This match has just gone into its 3rd hour. And that time the forehand volley holding up.
Ball 3. Townsend. Ball.
Well, that second serve was there for the taking.
Oh, she's missed it.
Five, 4. Townsend. Thank you.
2 serves to come for Townsend. It's wide.
Here's Halep, center corner, the left far sideline. The ball was gone out.
Halep just buying himself some time here. Making Taylor think about this moment.
It's Halep with 1 turn remaining.
So she had a couple of match points at 5-4 up in this final set. She has a pair here. Can she close? This time
Yes, on the mark, Townsend.
and that is another major
That's 2-1,
upset in the
2-6,
women's draw
6-3,
this year's US
7-6.
Open. Two dramatic hours on Arthur Ashe and possibly a career-defining victory for the 23-year-old American Taylor Townsend.
And high praise from Kobe Bryant, who's standing tall. No doubt proud to see a player come through in such pressurized